In the cartel, you don't get a promotion. You get a stay of execution. From the moment you step into that van as a new fish, you're already dead. You're just waiting for the rank that proves it. Level 1 to 10, every rank of the Sicario. Watch, because at the top, the only thing left of you is a ghost. Also, don't forget to subscribe and like. Let's go. Level 1, the new fish. The van smells like wet asphalt, sour sweat, and old cigarettes. Your palms are slick against the vinyl seat, leaving damp prints every time you shift. The man next to you is whispering a prayer in a dialect you don't recognize, his rosary beads clicking like a countdown. The driver doesn't speak, he only watches the rearview mirror, his eyes hidden behind dark glass. You feel small, a ghost in a metal box. When the doors slide open, the white-hot sunlight of the border town blinds you. A heavy weight is dropped into your hands, a 9mm. It's cold, oily, and heavier than you imagined. Hold this. Learn fast. The driver grunts. You nod, but you don't know what fast means until you see the vultures circling the horizon. In this world, fast is the difference between a paycheck and a shallow grave. Level 2, the initiate. The safe house is a concrete oven on the edge of the desert. Mosquitoes whine around the leaking ceiling, and every corner reeks of black mold and stale corn tortillas. Your job is simple. Watch the door, report the shadows, and don't ask names. The first time they make you aim the gun at a man, your hand shakes so violently the barrel rattles against the concrete wall. He's tied to a chair, his muffled pleas sounding like a dying animal. Your finger twitches on the cold trigger. Outside, the veterans are laughing. The sound of a beer bottle opening sharp and casual, as if this is just another Tuesday. They expect you to break. You expect yourself to survive. But as you look into the prisoner's eyes, you realize the man you were 10 minutes ago is already dead. Level 3, the runner. You're driving a black pickup through the midnight desert. The headlights cut through the dust like surgical blades. The tires hum a low, vibrating drone against the asphalt. On the passenger seat, the radio chitters with static encoded names. El Lobo. Shadow 6. Your job. Deliver the brick, dodge the federales, trust no one. Sweat stings your eyes, and the steering wheel feels like it's fused to your palms with old grease and fear. In the distance, blue and red lights flicker. A ghost on the horizon. Every second stretches thin, like a wire tightening around your throat. You realize the package in the back doesn't matter. You're not transporting white powder anymore. You're transporting your own life. One wrong turn, and you're just another statistic in a shallow grave. Level 4, the enforcer. The first time you go to collect a debt, the world feels eerily quiet. The only sound is the rhythmic scrape of a machete dragging against the crack of a warehouse floor. The man on his knees owes too much, and his currency has run out. You grip your pistol so tight your knuckles turn white, trying to swallow the hot bile rising in your throat. The air is thick, humid, smelling of old motor oil and raw panic. When the order comes, you strike. The sound of the impact cuts through the morning air, sharp and final. There is no applause, no music. Your mentor just nods, lighting a cigarette with steady hands. You feel a strange, cold hollowness spreading from your chest. A part of you says this is business. The other part is screaming, but the scream is getting quieter every day. Level 5, the trusted hand. You're inside a hilltop villa at dusk, where the orange sun bleed across the infinity pool like an open wound. On the mahogany table, a bottle of Cristal sits untouched, the condensation dripping like slow tears. In the next room, the bosses are laughing, a deep, guttural sound that feels more like a threat than a joke. They've let you sit at the adult table. You're trusted now. The air is a heavy mix of expensive Cuban cigars, imported leather, and the metallic tang of hidden fear. They don't give you orders anymore. They give you expectations. No words, just a folder slid across the table and a heavy gold ring tapping against the wood. You memorize faces, mistresses' addresses, and the exact timing of police patrols. Every glance from the old man is a silent test of your loyalty. loyalty. You realize with a sickening jolt that inside this beautiful prison, they can erase you as easily as a typo on a spreadsheet. You swallow the dry lump in your throat and nod. Your chest tightens. You finally understand that in this world, control is just a dream you had before you joined. Level 6, the calculator, maps, thermal printouts, and encrypted schedules are spread across your unmade bed like a jigsaw puzzle of someone's death. You're no longer pulling triggers. You're organizing the mechanics of the massacre. Hits, transport routes, bribes for the border guards, it all flows through your fingertips. Your phone pings every 6 minutes, each vibration a sharp pulse of adrenaline that keeps you from sleeping. The first time a shipment gets intercepted and a man dies because you chose the wrong dirt road, you don't cry. You just stare at the wall. It could have been you in that burning truck. The responsibility is a crushing weight, a physical pressure on your lungs. Late at night, you sit alone in the dark, tracing bullet trajectories and escape routes on the wallpaper with a shaky finger. When you catch your reflection in the cracked bathroom mirror, you don't recognize the person staring back. The eyes are hollow, the skin is gray, and the expression is ice cold. You've stopped being a soldier. You've become a ghost in the machine. Level 7, the ghost. Your name has been deleted from the streets. You move through the city like a glitch in the security footage. The nights are a blurring loop of distant sirens, muffled gunfire, and the heavy metallic thud of armored doors locking behind you. You've lost the border between your dreams and your memories. They both smell like gunpowder and old blood. Sometimes you hear a laugh in the hallway and you can't tell if it's a real person or just the ghost of the man you buried 3 levels ago. The pistol under your pillow doesn't just sit there. It hums, a low-frequency vibration that matches your heartbeat. Paranoia isn't a feeling anymore. It's a sense, like sight or hearing. You find yourself touching walls, checking door frames, and scanning every passing vehicle for a muzzle flash that hasn't happened yet. Sleep is just a rumor whispered by people who still have souls. You are a shadow in a world of monsters, and even the shadows are starting to look like enemies. Level 8, the doubt. A kid on the street smiles at you, and for a split second your heart jumps. Not with warmth, but with a cold electric jolt of terror. Is he a scout? Is there a shooter on the roof? You realize with a sickening hollow feeling that you've forgotten how to be human. You stare at your own hands and they feel disconnected, like meat hooks controlled by a ghost. Even the act of killing has become mechanical, as boring and repetitive as stamping papers in an office. The older men at the safe house joke about morality and mercy as if they're speaking a dead foreign language. You find yourself staring at the exit, imagining a life where you just walk away, but you know the rules. The only way out of the cartel is in a black bag. Late at night, you lie on the cold tile floor, clutching your gun like a crucifix, realizing the boy you used to be didn't just leave. He was murdered by the man you became. The silence of the ceiling taunts you with the only question that matters. Is there anything left of you to save? Level 9, the puppet. The orders arrive like digital heartbeats, encrypted, cold, and absolute. You see the bosses on their motorcycles, their faces obscured by mirrored visors, their voices digitally modulated into a robotic growl. You move, you eliminate, you vanish. Every step you take is choreographed by an algorithm of violence you no longer control. Every face in the crowd is either a target or a mask hiding one. The tension in your chest isn't the fear of a bullet anymore. It's the sickening terror of catching your own reflection. You avoid mirrors, rain puddles, and tinted car windows because you're afraid you'll see a stranger staring back. You find yourself touching your own skin, pulling at your hair, searching for a spark of the kid who once sat in that black pickup truck. But there is no answer. You are a ghost performing someone else's script, a high-end tool in a blood-soaked machine. You don't live your life, you execute it. Level 10, the fractured self. You sit on the edge of a skyscraper. The city lights below, dripping like neon oil into a gutter. A gold-plated pistol lies across your lap, heavy and useless. The wind up here smells of ozone, gasoline, and the burning plastic of a world on fire. You try to remember the first man you ever aimed at, the exact shade of his eyes, but the memory is buried under a mountain of static. Inside your mind, a dozen different versions of you are screaming, but none of them are you. The encrypted phone in your pocket vibrates. A new target, a new contract, a new lie. Your hand twitches, but you don't feel the adrenaline anymore. You smile, not because you're powerful, but because the emptiness has finally become your only friend. Fear died in you years ago, replaced by a cold, hollow vacuum. You look at your reflection in a shattered piece of glass beside you, 1,000 jagged versions of a man who no longer exists. The screen fades to black as the final question echoes through the wind. Who are you now? The money is in the bank. The enemies are all underground. You've reached level 10, but look in the mirror. If you can find one that isn't broken, there's no Sicario there. There's no new fish from the van. There's just a ghost in a designer suit holding a golden gun, waiting for the next encrypted message. The system didn't just promote you, it erased you. Which level would be your point of no return? Write it in the comments. Subscribe to Life Zero or stay a shadow. The hierarchy always needs a replacement.